This is Attorney David Altman, and this presentation will tell you about your rights as a victim of a dog bite attack in Utah or California. Dog bite victims in Utah and California can recover compensation for injuries, medical treatment, pain and suffering, and other damages under a special statute. Regardless of whether the dog owner's negligence led to your injuries, the dog bite statute makes owners and keepers of dogs strictly liable for all injuries or damages caused by their dogs. Whenever a dog bites and injures anyone, the owner is strictly liable for injuries or damages caused by that dog. Pet owners are expected to have and maintain control of their animals at all times, even when there is no prior history of violence, aggression, or biting. The victim of a dog bite attack does not need to prove negligence. The owner of a dog that bites a victim may be held both criminally and civilly responsible for the attack. Every year, over 4.5 million Americans are bitten by dogs. 885,000 people require medical treatment for dog bite-related injuries, and half of that number are children. Those numbers reflect only the reported dog bites. Fatalities, while uncommon from dog attacks, do occur. The rate of children's dog bite injuries is highest for those between the ages of 5 to 9 years. Children who have been bitten by a dog may experience severe emotional trauma, sleep disturbance, post-traumatic stress disorder, and often suffer permanent and serious physical injuries from being mauled, such as scarring, disfigurement, nerve damage, broken bones, infections, and lacerations. Like the majority of other states, Utah and California dog owners are subject to strict liability laws. Those laws impose responsibility regardless of fault whenever a dog bites someone or bites another animal. Utah law makes dog owners liable for any injuries or damages caused by their dog, regardless of that dog's lack of prior aggressive behavior or the owner's absence of any knowledge that their dogs are predisposed to biting. Dog bite injuries can be extremely serious and can lead to enormous medical treatment bills. Very few defenses are available to the dog owner, other than that the dog was provoked or defending the owner or owner's family from the threat of violence or injury. Dog bite cases are no different than most other personal injury cases, except that negligence and liability are usually not an issue. In both Utah and California, dog owners don't get one free bite or a first free bite. Contrary to popular belief, dog owners are strictly liable for injuries and damages on the first bite and each and every bite thereafter. Victims of dog bite injuries usually face a serious and painful road to recovery. While no law firm can alleviate the emotional and physical toll of a dog bite injury, we can ensure that our clients will receive full and fair compensation for their injuries.
What is the difference between full tort coverage and limited tort coverage on your Pennsylvania automobile insurance policy? My name is Joe Hanyon. Welcome. I'm with the Pennsylvania personal injury firm of MHK Attorneys, and we do automobile accidents. We have a lot of people coming in to see us about being injured in an automobile accident, and one of our first questions we ask them is, do you have full tort or limited tort on your Pennsylvania automobile insurance policy? Clients generally reply, well, I have full coverage. After we do a thorough investigation, we obtain their declaration page for their insurance policy. On the declaration page, it's going to tell us whether they have full tort or limited tort. And many, many times we find that people come in and they have actually selected the limited tort option on their Pennsylvania coverage. Thousands, tens of thousands of Pennsylvania drivers are driving around with limited tort coverage, and I'd say less than 5% actually know what limited tort coverage is. And before we talk about limited tort, let's talk about what full tort coverage is. Before 1990 in Pennsylvania, every driver in Pennsylvania had full tort coverage, which meant that they had full access to the courts in Pennsylvania for their economic and non-economic damages. In 1990, the insurance company lobbied the Pennsylvania legislature to have a two-tiered structure on their automobile coverage, full tort and limited tort. If they chose limited tort, they would have a reduction on their premium policy, and that was the goal, to give Pennsylvanians the opportunity to reduce their policy. However, it was never really conveyed to them exactly what limited tort is. What does full tort mean? Full tort means that you have unlimited coverage and access to the courts for your economic and non-economic damages. Economic damages are pretty easy. Those are defined damages. For instance, if you have a medical bill for $18,000, that's a defined economic damages. If you lost work because you're in an automobile accident and the total losses of your wages total $27,000, that's a defined economic damages. Non-economic damages are your pain and suffering and emotional distress that often accompanies an automobile accident. You're watching this video because you have questions. We answer questions just like this every single day. Just pick up the phone and call us. It's 1-855-MHK-ATTY. Thanks for watching another video series.
So, Dennis, what are the advantages to hiring a personal injury attorney when it comes to car accidents?
Well, Miranda, the clear advantage is that we have done this for many, many years. And I myself have handled over 10,000 automobile accident cases. And a client who's involved in an accident really is in a crisis situation for the first couple of weeks, probably. They're injured. Very often they don't have access to a car. Their finances are really turned upside down because they don't know if they can get to work, and if they can get to work, they don't know if they can do the job. And often, depending upon the severity of the injury, the insurance company or the doctor that they're treating will ask them to take time off from work. And so they have financial issues, paying their rent, paying their mortgage, taking care of their kids. So that first 10 days to 2 weeks is very difficult, and a lot of times the decisions that they will make vis-a-vis the insurance companies calling them, and decisions about property damage, and decisions about whether I should go to a doctor and who should I see. All of those things are things that we do just as a matter of a routine type checklist to make sure that everything is covered.
You know, a lot of people, I think, are hesitant to hiring a personal injury attorney because they worry about the money, but oftentimes you're going to get a larger settlement. I mean, most cases, right?
I don't think I've seen in 35 years 5 cases where someone handling their own case wound up with more money in their pocket at the end of the case than if they would have hired our firm.
So what should someone do if he or she is watching, has been involved in a car accident? What should that person do if they're interested in hiring a personal injury attorney from your law firm?
Well, they should call Dell & Schaefer. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We actually have secretarial staff here till 9, sometimes 10 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday. You'll always speak to an attorney, even if it goes through our answering service. An attorney will call you back, will speak to you. You won't speak to an investigator, and you won't speak to a staff member. You'll speak to a lawyer. And in a very short conversation, we can give you a very good idea in that first phone call what we can do for you and how we're going to go about doing it. And I think that provides a great deal of peace and a great deal of ease for someone who's just gone through a traumatic experience like an automobile accident.
And there's no cost to doing that, right?
No, there's no cost. We operate strictly on contingent fees. And what that means is the contingency is if we're successful, we get paid. If we're not successful, we don't. And that not only relates to fees, but it also relates to costs. Any of the costs that we expend in handling a case, we will not charge a client if we're unsuccessful.
Dennis, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.